Oh my God. Can you guys hear me?
It is exactly afternoon, so you're right.
Good afternoon.
I'm over here saying good morning and it's afternoon. All right. Good morning or good afternoon. I'm happy to see you guys.
Yeah,
some
likewise.
questions in the group. So, okay, on the hypnotherapy and life and success coaching certification test, the following question appears on both tests. I'm not sure where to find the answer. Hetero suggestions are given. Let me, oh, I need to see the question. Let me see if I can find it. I don't even see.
So in the life and success coaching is number 7, and then in the hypnotherapy is number 16. But it's the same exact question. So I'm just like, I don't know.
Hypnotherapy is the one I have up 16. Oh, hetero suggestions are given by one person to another.
Okay.
So if you're doing hypnosis, you're giving suggestions to your client. Now, you're giving those suggestions based on the interview that you did, but it's still from you to that client.
Okay, so hetero. What does hetero mean? I think that's what kind of threw me off. Hetero, is there a term for that? Maybe?
I don't remember.
Okay, so I think that's what threw me off of the understanding of the question. So I'm like, I thought it was more technical than that. I'm like hetero. I'm like, what is hetero? Okay.
Let me pull up because I'm drawing a little bit of a blank. Hetero. Yep. Okay, so if you went to the hypnosis manual on page 99. It talks about hetero suggestions. It talks about different suggestions.
I was looking for that.
It talks about like the I'm like, I remember in the manual, I just don't remember where. It talks about like the psychology of suggestions. So there's like emotional suggestions, unconscious suggestions, social suggestions, all of that. And hetero.
Oh, I see it. I see it now. Yes.
So that was a good question because it didn't immediately ring a bell. So I was like, can you bring out that physical therapy or on my way to physical therapy? I saw that and I was like, bring that to group because I was trying to sit on that and remember.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I didn't go through I have my manual, I print everything out, I have everything in here, but I haven't gone through the whole manual, right? I go through it as, so that's why I didn't know where to find that. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. That one, the manual is so hefty, you can't really go through it front to back.
Yeah.
And like as you're looking for stuff, you pull up what you need.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was actually thinking. And since we're on the same question of the test, the hypno test, the same concept of the life and success coaching test. Would you say that I should go through the pre-study? Because I think I need to go to the life and success coaching pre-study again to get my answers for here, especially for multiple choice is fine, but I feel like the short answer in the back would it be ideal to go back to the pre-study?
Yeah, if you hadn't printed it when you did it, I would probably go back through it to get some of those questions. And again, remember, probably like you said, the multiple choice should be pretty simple. Like there will probably be things that you remember that you didn't even remember you remember.
Yes.
And I would want to go through that pre-study again.
Okay, so same for the hypnotherapy too. I'm going to go through. I didn't print it out when I did it. I printed it out after.
Yeah.
I did the live training and I got some answers from the live training for the hypnotherapy. So I think I need to go back to that and just think. So I'll do that.
Awesome. And then your next question was number 49, sub numbers. I don't see those example phrases and meta model patterns. Explain that question for me.
Okay,
so I'm at 49 and I go to the meta model. Let me see, 49. Oh, no.
So 49 on the NLP practice. Okay. And then it says, write your own original hypnotic phrase for each of the following Milton model. Oh, I said meta model. Sorry, I'm saying Milton. Sorry, my bad. It was Milton. Yeah, Milton model patterns. So I did everything else, but then number 9 and 11, I'm like, when I was looking, I couldn't associate the phrases that would go with that analogy, like analogical marking, embedded command, underline the command, and then extended quotes.
So an embedded command would be when you are commanding something, but you're saying it in a sentence, so people don't even realize you're commanding it. So I may say, let me think about how. Okay, so let's say I want to. I'm going to write something out for myself. So I may say, I am going to go buy to my mother's home where she's trying a new program. So essentially what my embedded command is by my program, but I'm emphasizing by my in program. So a lot of times embedded commands are also done on, are used psychologically on sales pages. So they may change fonts on sales pages to say certain things, or they may change the color of something. You know, sales page, like if you looked at one of my sales pages, I blend a lot of colors. So I might use white, I might use tan, I might use gold, I might use pink, I might use black. And so I always am doing that just because the way our brain works. If we're just reading the same monotone things, it gets really boring. But some people are really strategic to emphasize certain words. So like if I gave you, I'll give the example that I see like in the book when we think about embedded commands. I'm gonna put it in the chat because maybe if you read it, it'll like.
Yeah, because I was looking for the example so I can rephrase my own, but I couldn't find the example. Is it actually, does it say?
Yeah, there's one that
embedded
says,
command?
my mother used to bake cookies from scratch. I wonder if your mother knows. And so basically you're saying scratch your nose would be one or something like that. And so you would emphasize every other words. And then if we'll actually watch a video on Masters that shows this a little bit more in depth, but like there's a really cool video by Darren Brown that we're going to watch. And he's basically convincing a guy to pick out a gift that he wants. And he has it, it's like a bike or something. And Darren Brown has it in the back. And then the guy's like, how'd you know I wanted that bike? But the guy didn't even really want the bike. It was the embedded commands that the guy, that the therapist gave him. So basically you embed different commands into your sentence, into your verbiage. So you could be like, you know, come here now, but instead of saying come here now, you might say, she is going to come over to my house, which is here later because now isn't a good time. So I'm putting like more emphasis on the words that I really want to embed that command.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can play with that.
Okay. Okay. And then the extended quotes.
The extended quotes. Oh, that one's confusing. So this is where you are giving a quote that's long. So I was with Michael, who said that he talked to a student who talked to his mother, who talked to her grandmother that said that it's best to play tennis or whatever. So you see, I'm not saying that it's like an extend. I talked to Michael, who talked to a student, who talked to his mother, who talked to her grandmother. So it's like multiple quotes.
Okay, multiple quotes. Okay, so I'll put that there as an idea. Okay. Okay, perfect. Perfect. And for the test, like, I have it on hard copy. So I would say it's better for me that way. So I will scan them, right? I'll scan them into the folder. So okay.
Do you have an iPhone?
I do.
Yeah, you can actually, really cool fact, you can go into the notes pad of your iPhone and click the camera button and it'll ask if you want to take a picture or scan, and you can scan like that, and you can scan pictures.
In the notes? Oh, is that a new? I use
it
notes.
Is a new feature.
Okay, because I use notes religiously and I did not know that. Okay, so that's okay, great.
Yep, so when you go into notes, just go into notes,
okay.
Start a new note, and then you'll click the camera button, and then it'll say scan document or take a picture or something. You click scan document.
Yes, so amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And I'm almost done. Like I booked all my appointments. Mostly
I told you, I'm like, you put it out there. You put it out there. People are not going to sit on that. I knew it.
So I have I already have 3 calls. I have one today at 5, but and what is super exciting for me is that I created my Calendly, like I showed you. So now I'm so excited. So they all booked through that link. I feel so professional.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Anchor that in, because that's how I get anchor that in. If you start getting calls like that, it's perfect.
Yeah. So that was super motivating for me. So definitely. So well, I think I was so excited, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I'm pretty much almost done. My only thing is that I have a call today, a potential call today for Meta Model. because I remember I missed that one on the Sunday.
Oh, 'cause you left
I
early
did
because
the
it was
time
Father's
goal.
Day.
I left early. So I'm like, oh, if I had knew, I would not have left early. I would have said, yo, sacrifice. But I didn't know we're doing meta model because I would have just banged that out. So I'm so pissed, but whatever. So now I'm going to be doing, oh, actually, no, sorry. The meta model I got is the hypnotherapy, is the Krasner method. That's what it is. And that's what it's a bit shaky for me. And I think I'm going to have to go rewatch your video, because what doesn't sit well with me as far as my understanding level, I'm trying to find my is like I'm going through. So am I going through the Krasner script, or I'm going to use in the book? Because I download the Krasner Smith.
I think I gave you the exact script. And what I did was
Yes.
I took the script from the book, but I wrote it in a more like in an easier way for you to follow all the steps. So it tells you how to interview the client. So you're asking them a series of questions. And the reason you're asking them the series of questions is because you want to speak in their language. So let's say, for example, and I think I gave this example before, but this is the most recent hypnosis session I did. But I did one for productivity. My version of productivity looks very different than your version, or very different than Taisha's version. So when I'm asking, what does productivity look like? Or when you're productive, you're not whatever. So are you, I mean, when you're not productive, you are, I mean, when you are productive, you are blank. So I'm getting all of these phrases and words because when I'm speaking to the subconscious mind, I want to use their phrases. The biggest thing I can tell you, pretty much cannot mess it up if you follow the script. The only thing that you absolutely have to avoid is not. The subconscious mind does not register not. So if you say, I am not broke, all the subconscious mind heard was broke. If you say, I am not lazy, all the subconscious mind heard was lazy. And when you're in that state and doing that hypnosis, their minds, she looks like I lost her. Taisha, can you still hear me okay? We'll make sure it's not my internet.
I can.
No, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, you were talking. My laptop was semi-plugged in. I didn't realize it. I'm like, it went off. I'm like, what happened? It wasn't plugged in all the way. So I lost power on my laptop. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
I'll start over again. So when you're doing the hypnosis at the very beginning, you're asking interview questions. And the reason you're asking those interview questions is to be able to speak to their subconscious mind. You want to speak in their language. Because like I mentioned, like if I'm doing a hypnosis on losing weight, the way I think about defining losing weight is going to be very different than maybe how you define it or how Taisha defines it or whatever. So I want to speak in that language. So you're asking questions so that when you have them in trance, you're really able to speak to their subconscious mind in their language. Now, when the biggest thing I want you to not overthink it, because I know for you, like you get in your head, but you are a freaking force to be reckoned with when you just trust yourself. And so the best thing I can tell you, cannot mess this up unless you use like negative language, because the subconscious mind doesn't register that. So if you say, I am not fat, all the subconscious mind heard was fat. If you say, I am not lazy, the subconscious mind only heard lazy. I am not, dumb, or whatever, the subconscious mind only heard dumb. It doesn't register negative. So as I'm writing out their thoughts, so like, when I did the hypnosis session for a client on productivity, and one of the things he was mentioning was like, I feel free. I'm on top of my schedule. I have more family time. I feel like I have more autonomy. He was saying things like that. I was writing that in the positive sense. So when I got to that part of the script where I started to speak to the subconscious mind, I would say, you are free. You have an autonomous schedule. You're free to be with your family and spend quality time. You're extremely productive. So I'm saying things in positive. I didn't say it in the opposite. And what I'll do too is I'll pull up, sorry, my daughter's at tennis practice and she just texted me. All right, I'm gonna pull up the Krasner script because I'm gonna show you where in the script you're embedding that language. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, I feel like that's where everyone gets confused. So I kind of knew. I was like,
I don't want to mess it up, right? So
yeah. So right here in the beginning, you're demystifying hypnosis. So you're, hypnosis. You can literally read this word for word. Like Literally, I made it very simple here. Hypnosis is not
Okay.
therapy, it's not voodoo, it's not mind control. What you see on stage hypnosis shows is for entertainment only. You're going to be in full control. And I usually add in something like, if I tell you to go rob a bank, if that's not an integrity, first of all, I would never tell you that, but if that's not integrity with you, your mind's not going to do it. Like, you're not going to do it. So I want you to feel free to trust this part of the process. So I set that, I demystify it. Then I set the expectation, like, don't expect to feel hypnotized. Do expect to feel relaxed. And you can read these parts underneath. You are in complete control, so you can totally do that. And then you can do this lemon exercise. It's actually really cool, but you just basically read this script to them, and what they'll notice is their mouth is going to water like they're eating a lemon. And you'll basically say, see, you're suggestible, or see, this is how hypnosis works. It won't feel any different than that. So it's just like a mini script. And then down here, you can pick one of the two. You can do the book and the balloon, you can do the finger vice, or you can do the magnetic hands. The sway test I wouldn't do on Zoom, because the person is swaying and you can't catch them on Zoom. So I would pick one of the other ones. I typically do the book and the balloon. It's just the one I'm most familiar with, but literally you can pick whatever one and you read it. And basically what you're doing is you just have them hold their hands out. You have them close their eyes. You have them turn their right hand over. And then to say, imagine as clearly as you can, I'm placing a large, heavy dictionary on one of those huge dictionaries from the library on your right hand, and it's feeling heavier and heavier and huge. And it's a heavy dictionary, so heavy that you just can't seem to lift it. And most people can know that it's time for your right arm to drop lower and lower, keeping a hold of a very heavy dictionary. And you just keep going that slow hypnotic language. And really what ends up happening, I actually twisted over the wrong hand. So it's actually my left hand should have been twisted over, my right hand should have been faced that way. What you'll start to notice by the end, their hands will be like just a little bit separated because of that hypnotic language. And then you'll just say, like, now open your eyes. That's the power of giving suggestions to your unconscious mind. And you're wonderful at this. So you're ready for us to work through the hypnosis. So it's just, again, letting them know it's really tearing down their fear around what hypnosis is. And then you go to the interview. So this is really important, all right? So this is where you're gathering like the specific details about what it is that the client wants from the session. And then it helps you to have a more guided, intentional therapy session. So what you'll do is you'll convert all their negative statements into positive ones. So you might, let's say the person is, the person feels lazy. So if you aren't lazy, what are you? And they start giving words: productive, successful, impactful, consistent, disciplined, whatever. They give all these words. Write these words down.
And those, I would write those down.
Those are what you write down, because those are the words that you're giving back to them. And I'll show you where in a moment. Okay.
Okay.
And then you also say, if you don't, spend, because I might say something like, well, why aren't you productive? I spend a lot of time on Netflix. So if you don't spend your time on Netflix, what will you do? I'm working really hard. I'm using my planner. I'm whatever. So you're just asking these questions to get their language. Okay. And then you'll say, how will your life improve when you are more productive? Or what, I'm just giving us an example. It could be, they could do hypnosis for weight loss, or mind, like something.
Actually, I have one. Sorry to cut you. I have one. I think it's gonna be best suited for her. I was gonna do the meta model on her, but the one from Monday, she said she answered the questions in my Calendly, and she goes, she's struggling with organization. So you think this would be best, or the meta model? Okay, no, yeah. So I think
organization. I think organization. This will be hypnosis. Will be great for that. So
okay, so yeah.
If you aren't cluttered, what are you? And she might say organized, focused, clear-minded, whatever. If you don't have a bunch of chaos around you, what will you do? Have free mind, have more success, be more productive, or whatever that organization is for her. How will your life improve when you're more organized? She'll answer that. How will you know you've been successful at organization? She'll answer that. What will you see, hear, and feel, when you're organized? What specifically comes up for you as you think about organization, right? And then when you have that organization that you desire, what will you be doing? So you're asking all of these questions, and you're taking like really, really good notes. You're not probably like shorthand notes, but good notes, because then I'll show you where you come in with that. So then you just go into the hypnosis. So this is the induction. and you read all of these things. If you see anything underlined, that's command tonality. So you're going to say like, I'm going to mention certain parts of your body. And as I do, I just want you to feel that part begin to relax. Just feel that part begin to relax. So it's a little bit more like commanding, commanding their subconscious mind. But you're reading through all of this stuff. There's parts that are in parentheses that you are not reading, and I'll find that, but you keep reading all the way through here. This part, for example, this you wouldn't, I thought I put in parentheses, you won't read this. So like this part, when you get to the convincers, you'll say something like, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. With each number I count, your eyelids will become heavier and heavier. At the count of 3, you'll find that you can't open your eyes, even if you try. You'll find with a little bit of delight, you simply cannot open them. 1, 2, 3. And right here, you don't want to read this part where it says you want to watch the eyebrows. Don't say that. You are watching the eyebrows.
Okay.
So you'll notice it. You'll notice for a second, and then you'll say, that's fine. Don't even try anymore. They're just too heavy. The eyelids are returning to normal. That's right. And you continue to just kind of go through. So you're reading all of this. And this is all like, literally you're just reading it, but you're in that hypnotic language. And then down here is where you're going to start putting in the notes. So like, for example, let's say this is another session I did. This is why I have this thing pulled up, but I had a client that wanted to become a client magnet. So I did a hypnosis session on that with her. And then I just used the notes from the interview right here. So this is where I put it in. So you would say, you are so organized. Your house is so clean and easy to see through. You know where to find everything. And because of that, you're on time. You're feeling clear-minded. You're feeling focused. You're feeling on top of your responsibilities. Your new identity is that of a person who is so organized, so much so that people compliment you and ask you, how did it happen? Say in your mind right now, I am an organized woman. Organization comes easy for me. That's right. Your new identity is that of a person who makes organization easy, who makes organization fun, right? And so you're just using this. You could make this as long or as short as you want. I would say the lowest I've ever done, maybe 3 minutes where I'm just talking, maybe like 2 to 3 minutes where I'm just talking from the notes from the interview. And some people I know, I've had clients that have taken this to 20 minutes long, just this part alone, just literally embedding all the things that they say. And it doesn't hurt to even repeat some things. You can say it in different ways, but you can repeat it. But this is where you're putting in the notes. And then you step into the next part. So then after you kind of go through where you're putting in the interview stuff, you'll say, letting go of all the tension. Yes, letting go of all the stress. Allow yourself to be at your own ease, totally calm, totally content, as you drift down ever so gently into a deeper relaxed state. And as a result of this deep, comfortable, and relaxed state, this evening, when you choose to go to bed, upon putting your head on the pillow, you will go into a deeper, more restful, more sound sleep than any time before in your life. And so you could say something here, or you could just kind of go in that sentence. So you could say, as a result of this deep, comfortable, and relaxed state, your organization increases. In this, or you could just go straight into it. But right here, where it says, if there's anything unresolved about, that's whatever they present with. So if there's anything unresolved about feeling organized or being organized, it will be worked out in your dream state. That's right. And then same thing down here, you're plugging that part into. So from this day forward, in your conscious, subconscious, and unconsciousness, you will find yourself doing whatever is necessary and safe to be organized. Whatever it safely takes, you find yourself doing it easily and effortlessly, and soon, very soon indeed, you will feel, see, and know how organized you already are. Like that. So it's just literally plugging in exactly as you see it.
Okay. And so what's coming up for me on the part where we're going to put in the words, like, knowing that we have, not like we have a time limit, but would I have time to write it, or I have to just kind of like write it fast? Like, in the second part where I say, you were, or I just have to memorize what they said, or just look at my notes.
If I were you, I would probably either print this out and write that in this section right here. I would write it in down here, Or if you have like a separate sheet of paper and when you get to this section, you look at the paper and you say, thank you. Did you have fun? Yeah. Okay. So if you get to the second set of like, so you could either print this out and write it in there, or you could have an extra sheet of paper next to you. And that's what I do when I'm doing the interview. I write it down. I write down all the things they're saying. And then as I get to this section, I just start bringing in their words. And
Okay.
you know too. So like Germany, she did something a little different. And so everyone does things different. You kind of got to find what works for you. But what she did is she broke her hypnosis into 2 sessions. So she did a 15-minute interview, and then that was it. That's all. She demystified hypnosis and then did the interview and then scheduled the second session so that she had enough time to write out her script. Whereas me, I just do it all in one setting. And I'm like, okay, I interview you, I take notes. And then when I get to that section, I come back and pull it up. So either way, you could try either way. If it feels like too much pressure to have enough time to write it, you could just tell the person, like, can we just talk for 15 minutes, do an interview, and then I want to go, really create a good script for you. And that's okay too. And that works well for Germany. So everyone kind of has her.
Yeah, that sounds aligned for me. My only concern with that is the timing, because I want to make sure all my videos are submitted before by July 5th, and I'm meeting with that person on the 4th. So the chances are hopefully that if I do it in 2 parts, she would have to be available for the next 15 minutes for me to do the script. You know what I mean? So I don't want to. So I'm wondering, like, if I'm going to have to just do it all in one session just for time's sake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what so that's the only thing that I
you could do that. But if you need like an extra day or something, like let's say she's not available on the 5th and it's the 6th or the 7th, I'm okay to push it back like a day or 2 if that feels better for you.
Okay.
Ask her if she's willing to do it that way. I feel like most people are a little bit flexible with that, just because if they know that you're kind of creating more of that customization, they're okay.
Yeah, I like it. Yes, for sure, hands down. I love the idea, and that works for me. I like to come to a meeting prepared.
Yeah.
So that's why for me with the hypnosis, the Krasner, I'm like, oh my God, I have to make sure that I know what I'm doing because I don't want to mess it up. And so that's why I'm happy we had this call. But yeah, so I want to be prepared. I don't want to be going. So that's why I'm happy that I'm not doing it today. I'm going to do reframing with the person today instead of this, and do that on the person for Monday because she already wrote organization. So it's going to work well for her. So I just want to do that.
Too, that will help you feel prepared. Is you could make I do this all the time for myself. I make my own Krasner method recordings when I'm working on something. So whether I'm working on hitting like a financial goal or chilling out with my anxiety or whatever it may be, I create my own scripts. And so you could do that. And what that will do is it'll help you feel comfortable with this script. If you just record yourself for yourself, then you start to feel comfortable with the script. So by the time you get on the phone with her, then now you have it and you're feeling a little bit easier as the script.
Okay. It's funny. I'm getting a lot of answers for my tests on this call. Without even knowing. I had a few questions. Okay, yes. So yes, I can answer that now. Okay, perfect. Oh my God, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for that. And I think my last question, I know, Taisha, your turn is coming up soon. So sorry. The last question is for the time technique. On the prac test, I have to watch the trainings, right? For that, because I don't have, okay, perfect. Okay, good.
Yeah, I think I have one video for pre-study and time techniques, and it's very small. It's just like a little history.
It's very small. Yeah, I noticed that.
The rest
I should get all my questions from my answers from there. Okay, perfect. Correct. Okay, so I think I feel a bit more motivated and encouraged. So thank you.
Yay! That's what I like to hear. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. Taisha, what's coming up for you, girl?
Yes, this was so good. Thank you, Andrea, for all of those questions.
It's a
pleasure. I feel like I was in training session.
Yay, I love that.
But yeah, this is so good. I guess my question is, I'm sorry, they're playing trouble. Let me get up out of here. I guess my question, well, I've already talked, I had like a little mini session before you came on, Andrea. So I talked to Dr. Nicolia about where I am, because I'm not as far as you guys, like with the coaching business and all of that great stuff. I do have my vision written out, so I am Oh, is Dr. Nicole here?
I don't know. Is she here now? I don't know if she was gone before.
We can't hear you, Dr. Nicole.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, my Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, start again. So you mentioned we had like a mini session before, and then you said something.
Yeah.
That's where it cut off. So go ahead.
Okay, so I'm just trying to find balance, Dr. Nicolia. Like right now I have 3 college courses, and you know how psychology can be. They're very strenuous, and so that's like me giving myself grace again with each class. So how can so I'll let you know, I have those 3 classes, and I'm in ministers training. How can I find balance right now with fitting in my coaching courses?
Yeah. So one, it's funny, Andrea was talking about this yesterday, like grace is the first thing that came to my mind when you mentioned that. And it made me think about yesterday's call. So one, providing yourself grace. It's interesting. I was on vacation and there were like 3 lanes. There was like a heavy vehicle lane, a driving lane, and a biker's lane. And I tried to get a good picture of it and I couldn't get a good one, but it made me think, like, I was like, I had so many ideas for what I could post with it. But it made me think, like, we all move at our own speed, right? We're all headed in a direction, but we all move at our own speed. So it's not necessarily a race where you have to kind of look at how fast or slow or anything anyone else is moving. Just you set a standard for what feels good for Taisha. That would be the second thing that comes to mind. And then the third thing is, after you set, like, what is that standard? So, can you at least commit to an hour a day? Or does that look like 2 hours a day? Or does that look like 45 minutes a day? Like, what does that look like? Then you want to commit to that. That's what you want to base it on. So one of the things I shared this, I think, on another Q&A call, and I can't remember if you were there or not, but I have a system I call the 3D system: delete, delegate, and do. And so for me, the way in which
I like that.
The way I try to master my schedule is I look at the way I spend my time and I ask myself, what's on my calendar and in my schedule that doesn't need to be there? What can I totally delete that just is wasting my time, right? Just doesn't need to be there. Then I look at, what can I delegate? Like, what can I ask for help with? So maybe you can be like, hey, Thomas, could you cook on Tuesdays and Thursdays? Because those are the days that I'm going to give an extra hour to my coaching program or whatever. Or, hey, mom, can you pick, I think Shania is one of your daughter's names. Can you pick Shania from whatever? Like, so you're delegating where you can. One of the things I'm so grateful, one of my youngest daughter's friends just started running track. And when I tell you, track was kicking my butt. She had practice 4 days a week and a meet every single Saturday out of town. So I'm like, I can't do this every day. So now we rotate. I take her 2 days a week. Her friend's mom takes her 2 days a week. Even today, my older daughter was at tennis and the coach agreed to bring her home because I told her I had a call. So again, asking for that support, delegating where necessary. And then there's certain things that only you can do. But when you delegate and when you delete, you make more room for you to do the things that only you can do, like study or do your calls or show up on these calls or things like that. So that would be also where I start, is I would look at the way in which you're spending your time, figure out what can be totally removed and what you can get support with, what you can delegate, and then kind of go from there.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I like that 3D method. One moment. Can you, right now I'm in the meeting. Can you please close that door?
You're so polite. Before you got on the phone, my daughter was like pouring Doritos next to my computer was so loud. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, listen to Taisha. She's like, can you please close the door? And I'm like, no, absolutely not. Get the Doritos.
Oh, I have those moments, Dr. Nicolia.
You don't want to hear me over here. You don't want to hear me over here, okay? Yeah.
Yes, I definitely have those moments. That's why I had to go on mute. I was like, okay, let me mute this real quick. But I wanted to tell you thank you, because I am going to sit down. Like, my student advisor, she told me that yesterday. She said, sit down and schedule your week out. And so I was like, okay. And then I was like getting my my website together, because I had to deactivate it since my links wasn't working. And it made me think about your story when you said, I just went on and had somebody else to do it. And I was trying to be cheap. like not cheap,
But
but
I did the same
save on
thing.
money.
I did the same thing. I was trying to be cheap. And so I was like, I'll figure it out. And it took
Yeah.
me 2.5 weeks. I had a stupid, ugly website. And then I ended up paying somebody in the long run. And I was like, why did I do all of that? Like, that was my journey.
Yes.
And so that's why I always say, like, if
Yep.
there's something that you can hand off, if you can, there's not all the things
Mm-hmm.
you can hand off. If you can hand things off, do it. And I agree with your advisor. That was the other piece I wanted to say. Like, I think a big mistake we make is we expect our week to just fall in line. But if you're not intentional, I promise you it will not fall in line. It will not. Something will always come up. But if you have even today, like, let's say, I didn't schedule this call. When would I have gotten our Q&A call in, right? And then I would have been at the tennis court with my daughter, ended up going over, and I would have just kind of let the day get the best of me. They would have still been playing for another hour, and I just would have been sitting there doing nothing. But instead, I'm like, no, I have a call, I have a schedule. And the coach is like, we're going to go a little over. And I'm like, that's fine. I just got to pick her up early. And she's like, nope, I can bring her home. Perfect. It works for both of us. She gets extra time. I get to get on my call, that kind of thing. So really being intentional about planning your schedule. And I look at my schedule. So I plan every Sunday. And then I look at my schedule the night before I wake up. So, Monday night, I'm gonna look at my schedule. So I know Tuesday morning what I'm waking up and walking into. Tuesday night, I'm gonna look at my schedule in the evening and wake up and know what I'm walking into Wednesday. So really being intentional about planning. You have 5 kids. I know your oldest is, or is it 4? You have 5, right?
Yeah, I got 4. You're right. I have 4. Yeah, 4 children.
And you have 5, Andrea. Okay, I knew. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I have 2, and I'm
Mhm.
telling you, I'm pulled in a lot of different directions. I can't imagine having 4 or 5. Like, that is a lot. That is a lot of extra responsibility. And so, really being intentional about, like, what does your schedule look like, and prioritizing things for yourself too. I think that that's important, because us as moms, I think a lot of times we're like, even the trip that I did, and now it was a little bit of a mastermind mixed with like a personal trip too. But even it started to be like, well, no, I need to do this with the girls. I need to do that. But like, I also need to nurture myself so that I show up in the right energy, and so I show up in the right space.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
Taisha,
good. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. There was something you said that made me want to tell Andrea something. So Andrea, you were talking about wanting to put your Calendly on your
Instagram.
On your Instagram. Have you ever heard of Linktree?
Yes, I did one.
Oh, okay.
Last night.
Okay, awesome. So so Calendly is good, but when you start to get multiple links, so let's say I know you want to do a podcast. So let's say you have a podcast and you want to have your Calendly. Now you can have a Linktree and you can put 2 different links on your link.
Yeah.
So that was something I meant to say to you yesterday, and it's totally skipped my mind until Taisha brought up a website. So
it was in alignment. I did it last night. So that's what I was doing last night. I was like, I took care of all of that stuff. So I did my link. I had a link for my personal stuff, but I said, I want one for my coaching. So I put my Calendly, I put Shop With Me, and I added my boutique because it's part of me still, right? So and then I put my Facebook. I was just trying to see if it's going off like the lane, but no, it's still part of me. So it's me. So that's why I added.
Funny. When I started the coaching part of my business, I felt like that had to be separate from my book writing, because I'm like, oh, book writing is very, very different. But something in me kept calling to like not try to like separate them too much. And so I did it. And it's so funny because Taisha was a book writing client. Erica was a book writing client. Like, I've had all these people that have come straight from my book writing program into coaching. And so if I had tried too hard to separate it, it wouldn't have been good. Versus like, if you just show who you are, people will respect that and love different parts of you.
Yes, exactly. So that's what I did. And I added my Facebook group, and I added my business coaching group that I remember, the Fab I told you.
Yep.
I created a community on Facebook for that. So so I did that. So it was good. So now when they go to my thing, they have Linktree, and they can go to my link. So I did that last night. So that's done. So I feel so accomplished. I feel so accomplished. I feel like I am that coach, but I already feel like I have clients. I already feel like I'm in it. Like I'm associated with the coaching. To be honest with you, I'm associated with it. So I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. High vibe.
That's so good. I'm so happy for you, Andrea.
I feel it. Like, your energy has been so different. Like, even yesterday, the way you showed up on our guest expert call, like the questions, like the engagement, your feedback, your reflections. I'm like, man, she is on fire today. Like, I feel you stepping into that next. Like, I genuinely feel it.
Yes, and I feel it too, you know, and it's overwhelming, but like we said on the call, I'm willing to go through that because I know it's part of the process. I'm willing to feel the overwhelm, you know. I'll just gotta do things to help me to relax, which is I've been doing tapping. That's what I've been like really doing religiously. I did a tapping for the coaching yesterday. I did tapping just for I was feeling resentments in certain areas of my life. So I did tapping on that. So yeah, so that I've been doing a lot. So it's been helping me with my energy and helping me with my vibe, you know?
I
Yeah,
love
so
it.
I'm happy. Taisha, if you're finished, I have one more question to ask. I don't know if
Oh,
you're
go
done.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So Dr. Nicole, I'm wondering, I think I asked this in the group for number 24. I think you did respond to it, but I know it's part of parts integration. So we're doing parts integration on July 5th. Would I be able to get the answer for that? Or is the answer the number 7? Because I think is the last answer. That's what I'm thinking in parts integration. But should I wait till we do the course? I mean, the training to answer that?
It here. I can answer it here, but with parts, what you're trying to decide is you're trying to understand, is it a part that's conflicting or is it a limiting decision that's conflicting? And so what you would ask is you would say, is the problem part-time and conflicted or is it full-time and congruent? Because if it's part-time and conflicted, it's a part. You're conflict. Part of me wants to stay in my 9 to 5. The other part of me wants to be full of my business. That's a part versus saying something like, I don't believe I'm capable of having a coaching business. That's a limiting decision.
Okay. And as you mentioned that, I remember you saying it, but it's just to go catch where you said it, but I remember it exactly that you said this. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I have another question.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna definitely maybe I should get an accountability partner.
Ooh,
You know, like next week, because I gave myself like a few days to get used to my new classes that started this week. And so next week, like Sundays, I said Sundays will be my journaling day and my day to schedule in my week. I'm sorry, the children are kind of loud. They keep following
I can't
me.
hear them. I can't
Oh, okay, good. I have my AirPods in. So thank you. So I was thinking next week if I can have someone like that can check in to see how many classes I've actually did, you know, like an accountability partner. Like if we tell each other this is our promise that we're going to make to ourselves, this is what we're scheduling, and we check in with each other. Did you finish that? Or, you know, did you do this? Like whatever assignment, because I am going to really fit this in because I really want my cards to be on my table when I have my book release for the coaching so that they can take that away. But I can't put it out there if I have not, you know, gotten so far into it. I don't want to put myself out there yet.
I would say, so one, Andrea may be able to help you because I know she's trying to finish up by next week. So that may be hopeful.
Yeah.
Having like some last minute goals.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too, but go ahead. Yeah.
And then I was gonna say, even in addition to that, after she's done, you could post in the group too and say, like, is there anyone that wants to be held accountable? Because there are people that are still moving through the program that want that extra support. So you could also post in the group or, you know, start with Andrea and that doesn't mean like her goals could look different even when she is done in a week. Her goals could look different in the sense that like she's wanting to get a client by the end of the month or wanting to do this by the, you know, so it's still some kind of goals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an option.
Yeah, I love that. I really do love that.
Support you on that, Taisha, for sure. No problem.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. I was hoping I didn't want to put the pressure on you.
No,
but
like she's yeah, I have goals to meet as well too, so it'll keep me accountable too as well. So yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, perfect. So we can chat in our back channel, you know, inbox each other to make sure we're keeping up with our stuff, our own personal goals.
Yes.
And the other thing is, so I've had like 3 clients that came to me already and they want me to coach them already. And I'm just like, man,
That
Do not
like,
let
did you
imposter
finish
syndrome
yet?
stop you. Do not let imposter syndrome stop you. Here's the truth. You do not have to be certified to start coaching. You do not have to be certified
Okay.
to start coaching.
Okay.
go for it,
Thank
girl.
you.
Go for
Okay.
it.
There is
Yeah,
nothing
because I have
stopping you
one.
except for you.
Okay. Except for me. And I wrote that down like last year as like an affirmation. Nobody can stop you except for you. So okay. All right. Thank you, coach. I guess I need to hear it from my coach.
You know what I feel like too? I'm gonna be honest. I feel like it's coming
so
up
the
for you.
website.
Oh, go ahead. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
I think my Wi-Fi.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, your Wi-Fi was dragging.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's dragging a little, Dr. Nicole. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
I said
She's
Pastor.
back.
Dr.
Yeah.
Nicole is back.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi. I was gonna say, I also feel like it's a sign too. Like, I think that people are coming to you to reinforce that, like, this is where you need to be. You can be taking action towards this and showing up as that coach. Like, that's not an accident that people naturally are coming to you and just wanting that extra support.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you said that I can practice with my children, right? Like with my husband and my children. Cause I I scanned through a lot of the stuff that we're doing and I do go through it, even though I haven't like put in the hours yet. But I was like, man, my own family needs this, like my household.
It's
They
funny.
need this.
Andrea did a rapport session yesterday with your son, right? In Germany, I told her
sensory acuity with my daughter. Yeah, both. Yeah.
when Germany turned in all of her tests, I told her, I said, I feel like I know your boyfriend inside and out, because he was on probably 50% of the videos. I loved it. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I was like, I know his name, I know his favorite color, I know everything. It was just funny because it was just like, again, he was showing her support, but she also recognized ways she could help. I think like one of the most interesting ones was she did human design on him. He was like really blown away. He's like, wow, this is really accurate. But it was really cool to like hear her and him connect in that way. So yes, please use family members and friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can use me also, Taisha, if you need any help, please reach out to me.
Andrea.
I have my Calendly app now, so I can send you a link to book an appointment with me.
Okay. Well, you better. Okay.
I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I was about to say, as each of us, continue to grow and change and up level, there are going to be women in the group that want extra support. So yes, post that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For sure.
Awesome.
For sure. You can never have enough support, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm really grateful for our group because the whole group is very supportive and encouraging and all of that. What I had to do like a month ago, because at first I was like, man, the ladies in our group moving so fast. I'm like, Lord, and I felt like so behind. But when I talked to Dr. Nicole, and God always gives her exactly what to say in the right time of saying it. And she kept saying that. She said, grace. What I see is you just need to give yourself grace. She was like, we're here, but you are doing a whole lot. You're doing a whole lot. You're finishing a book. And at that time, I couldn't bring it out at that time, but I was finishing 2 books. And that's what I was not saying. So it was just a whole lot, but now I'm getting freed up in that area. And I'm like, I really want to focus on coaching so I could show up confidently for my clients.
And you know what? I was there. Like, I was there where you are now. I was there. I was like, oh my God, everybody remember at the beginning, Dr. Nicole, I'm like, I didn't start yet. People were all ahead. And I was like, I'll do the modalities, practice training. And I haven't even done the pre-study. Like I felt behind, and look where I am now, and what helped me and pushed me forward to this point right now is really boundaries. Like I set boundaries. Like I told everybody, listen, I have an exam. I even told even my business clients in my community group that I'm not even taking sales. I'm not processing any sales because I have my exam. And I said my coaching is something that's very important to me, and I'm making that a priority over making a sale. Like I need to get this done. So my mom hasn't called me. Nobody is, because they know, So I put it out there, and it feels so good to just really have integrity, right? And to really keep your word, and knowing that people are hearing what you're saying, and know, okay, you know what, she's busy. So my mom would message me, how's studying going? Because she knows I'm studying, right? And we actually have a catering event this week, but it's not like a heavy event, but like usually I would help her, but she knows that I'm studying. So she didn't even call to ask me, are you coming over to help? So setting boundaries is important, and I've learned that through the course of this training, of this program, that setting boundaries and not being afraid to say no, not being afraid to walk away what no longer serves you. And me, I feel that a lot of things I was really trying to be there for everyone except for myself. And if I'm not there for myself, if I don't heal myself, if I don't take care of myself, I can't coach anybody else. I can't teach anybody else, So that's how I got here. So girl, I was where you are at. So it's possible. So you'll catch up. You will catch up. Was that a speech? Oh my gosh. Was that really a
Thank
speech?
you. I loved it.
You over here preaching.
Thank you. So encouraging.
It's also it's all like in alignment with yesterday when she talked about, you missed the beginning, Taisha, and I would highly recommend the replay. But she talked about how if you're out of integrity with yourself, it's going to affect the energy you show up in. So how can you make commitments and promises to yourself and follow through with them? And that's exactly what Andrea did before she even went to that call. She started to commit to herself on a different level. And I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, thank you. So thank you for the partnership, Andrea.
Yes,
thank you, Coach.
Most definitely. Now I have a better insight on my exam, so I'll knock it out by next week. And thank you to Dr. Nicolia for that grace period. If I do need an extra day, at least I know that I have it if I do need it. I'm still working on the 5th, but if it so happens that I do need it, I know that I have the resource and the support. So thank you so much for that.
Of course. I'm happy that you're so close to the finish line. I can't wait to certify you. I'm so excited.
I know. All I'm seeing is I'm just visualizing. I told my mom I go, all I'm seeing is my diplomas in the email. That's all I see. That's all I can see is my diploma. And I see myself posting it on my social media page. I see myself I'm already preparing my speech for when I graduate. So it's happening. It's gonna happen. Yeah, it's happening. It's just I have to finish it, but I know that I already have it. It's just completing it, So that's the mindset that I'm in right now. So yeah, I'm feeling every part of it, So yeah, I can't wait. I know I'm passing for sure. Hands down. I know I'm passing. I claimed it already.
Yeah. Thanks for that feeling in.
I have one last question.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. How many hours does it take? You know how with the college courses, they tell you this class will take 12 hours a week. How many hours does it take to, I know you said 9 weeks, but do you know how many hours to put in weekly to get through those 9 weeks?
The way I broke up the 9 weeks was about an hour and a half a day for 9 weeks, and then I built in breaks.
Okay, an hour and a half a day. Thank you. That gives me insight. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. That was a good question. All right, guys, my Wi-Fi does not love me. It now says I'm losing connection again.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we will wrap up our Q&A. Are there any last minute questions?
Right now, no. If I do, I'll definitely share it in the group, but you've answered pretty much of what my concerns were. So I know what I know what I have to do to kind of answer those questions. So I think I'm good.
Okay,
I think I'm good.
perfect. I'm
I
excited.
just needed the 3D. Yes, I'm excited for you too, Andrea. I'm sorry, coach, if it seemed like I'm cutting you off. It's the Wi-Fi.
It's mine.
Okay. I just needed the 3D again. You said delete. Did you say distort?
Delegate and do. Delete, delegate, and do.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, and I think Dr. Nicole, you said you posted something in the link, eh? Oh, something for me in the link. I think, but what happened was when my laptop got disconnected or shut down, I didn't get to copy the link. You sent something to me. Can't remember what it was. I think it was.
Let me look. Let me look.
You sent something, but I don't know if because it got disconnected.
It was example from from the question that you had. It was the embedded commands. I just posted that.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, perfect.
I see it. Yep.
Perfect. Okay, good. Okay, got it. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, ladies. Thanks for
And it's-
joining today.
Of
Thank
course, it's
you.
Canada Day over here, so I'm gonna try to enjoy the rest of the day with the family.
Yeah, enjoy.
And yeah, so
Enjoy.
yes.
It'll be amazing.
Okay.
Okay. I'll talk.
Thank
Bye,
you.
ladies.
You're welcome.
All right, bye.
Bye.